You're with us on the newsroom, and let's now look at the next set of graphics that we are putting out for the Mood of the Nation opinion poll. And the question that I'm taking now is the popularity of our major netas. Let's see who is the most popular neta and who is chasing Modi. There isn't much of a surprise actually. Modi is still by far the most popular leader. Sonia Gandhi comes in at 5, Rahul Gandhi at 7. Add that up, remember, 12%. Now Jayalalitha comes in at 7%. Arvind Kejriwal comes in at 15. You can add the popularity of Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi, and Kejriwal is still ahead. So here is the overall figure. Modi, Prime Minister Modi at 36, Arvind Kejriwal at 15%, Rahul at 7, Sonia Gandhi at 5. This is a deeply disconcerting data set for the Congress. Rahul and Sonia together less than Arvind Kejriwal. Modi leagues ahead of them all. The next question, who's the most popular chief ministerial candidate? Mamata Banerjee is 5% in West Bengal. She has 31% approval rating. This is asking the people in West Bengal who they think is the most important, most popular chief minister. It's an interesting question because in Orissa, Naveen Patnaik comes in at 69%. That is huge popularity in his home state. Overall, in the country, he's not as popular. But in Orissa, where it matters most to Naveen Patnaik, he has an approval rating of 69%. Chandrababu Naidu, his is the new government, so anti-incumbency hasn't really caught up in a big way. In Andhra Pradesh, 55% think he's the best CM in the country. Now remember, it's most important to see how your own state respondents feel about this question. Akhilesh Yadav, 8% most popular CM. In Uttar Pradesh is 34. But the man of the moment in this question is Arvind Kejriwal. He comes in at 17% nationally, 55% in Delhi. Both the first question, which showed that Kejriwal is coming in at number 2, and this question show that Kejriwal is now emerging as some sort of a national leader. The BJP may like it, may not like it, but both these questions show that Kejriwal's popularity is now next to only Prime Minister Modi and no one else. And remember, I must add this though, that this poll was done before the recent tamasha in the Aam Aadmi Party. This whole ousting of Yogendra Yadav, Prashant Bhushan, this poll predates those events. So we don't know what impact those events would have on Kejriwal's popularity. But at least before that, he is riding a huge tsunami. Now, here are the states where the BJP is gaining between the Lok Sabha elections of 2014 and now. In Telangana, it's gaining 6.4%. These are the states where the BJP is doing better. In Orissa, it's gaining 5.5%. In Kerala, it's gaining 5.2%. This is vote share. In Kerala, their base is so small that this vote share wouldn't necessarily immediately translate into a lot of seats. But this is where their vote share is increasing from the Lok Sabha elections of May 2014. Here are some more states where this is where the BJP is losing ground. In Delhi, it's lost ground by 5.6%. Now that's a big negative. What happened in the assembly elections being reflected in this poll also. What's also problematic for Amit Shah is that in Uttar Pradesh they're down about 5%. That's a problem, but in some senses, because the base is so high, in the Lok Sabha elections of 2014, they got so many votes that they're bound to lose from there. But nonetheless, losing about 5.5% in just about a year is problematic. Problematic also are these figures from Rajasthan, where the BJP has lost about 5% vote share from the Lok Sabha elections of last year. What would the overall vote projections be? And this again is very interesting. If elections were held now, what would be the total vote percentage that the BJP would get vis-a-vis the Congress? Let's take a look at this. The Congress is likely to end up at 19.3. That was in May 2014, which could now change to 20. That's a gain of about 0.7% for the Congress party. That's not so substantial, but nonetheless. This is the UPA overalls. 23% is where they were last time. 23% is where they'll stay. So the Congress doing better, but the UPA per se not doing well. But to some extent that's explained by the fact that some of the parties that were earlier part of the UPA are no longer with them. What about the BJP? They were 31% in the Lok Sabha elections of 2014. That figure now likely to go up to 32%. That's a gain of 1%. Whereas the NDA from 38.5 to 39, that's a gain of 0.5%. Here is the vote projection figure, and now we're going to look at seats. If elections were to be held now, how would the Congress do? Their tally from 44 going up to between 48 and 58. That's an average gain of about 12 seats, not so substantial. The UPA from 59 to about 62 to 80. So the Congress and the UPA recovering some ground since May, but still they're really bottom of the heap. Here is the BJP, and this again is disconcerting for the BJP, because take a look at this. Between 245 and 265, the median being 255, that's the number of seats the BJP could end up with. They had 282 in the Lok Sabha elections. That essentially means they're about 20 seats short of being able to form a government by themselves. Coming down, the 272 mark is very important in Indian politics. The BJP losing that popularity already. Here is the NDA figure, 335 in May 2014, now likely to come down to between 384 and 314. And on that note, I want to go across now to Bengaluru. Joining us from there is Union Telecom Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad. The BJP is doing its stock taking in Bengaluru, which is where the national executive will take place. Ravi Shankar Prasad is now joining us on this broadcast. Welcome, sir. When we asked our respondents what was Prime Minister Modi's biggest achievement, 34% saying improving India's image internationally was the Prime Minister's big accomplishment. So while statesman Modi is working, only 13% said that reducing corruption was his biggest success. Now, you got elected to power on the promise of reducing corruption, not on the promise of improving India's image internationally. Corruption is right at the bottom of his accomplishments. Is that some sort of a failure for the Modi Sarkar, sir? The promise of reducing corruption not being kept, Mr. Prasad?
Well, what I have heard, I have not seen your poll. We were busy in the meeting that the Prime Minister is 50% popular as a Prime Minister of the BJP. He occupies popularity of 35% plus in the country in comparison to others. And let me tell you, the people are aware of the great success of the auction of coal mines, auction of spectrum in my department having a record 1,10,000 crore plus. All this is possible because of fair, transparent regime led by the Prime Minister. And the people of the country know it. And let me tell you, as a person handling crucial portfolio, that in this government, corruption is absolutely low. I cannot say at the lower level that maybe some people are doing, but you are seeing how income tax commissioners are being arrested. Therefore, political corruption at the highest level, absolutely negligible, policy decisions being taken in a fair manner, and if people are deviant at the lower level, strict action is being taken, which is evident. I don't deny that there is a scope for improvement.
Okay.
But as far as governance is concerned, India's international image is concerned, there is no rent seeking in the government. There is great boost to the economy of India. Investors' confidence is there. Jan Dhan Yojana inclusive program for people are there. So Rahul, you are seeing how this government is working for the entire country.
So one of the other big findings of this survey, Mr. Prasad, is that 48% of the people say they're strongly opposed to this RSS vision of a Hindutva Rashtra. They also feel that fundamentalists have been given a free run since the Modi Sarkar came to power. This is one of the big negatives against this government, your inability to rein in the fringe.
Let me clarify one thing very clearly and categorically. Much of this is a hype and also motivated campaign. But before that, let me clarify, when Modi ji says Sabka Saath, Sabka Vishwas, it means that we are working for an inclusive India. And some of the over-exuberant comment of the fringe element, they do not represent the ideology of the BJP, the working of the BJP. Let me make it very clear, I am also an RSS Swayamsevak. I know the approach of RSS for the country, for commitment for nation. Yes, you may be right. Some of their statements were completely unwarranted. The PM has himself dissociated. Some have apologized. And let me here say, as a senior party functionary, that as far as our government is concerned, those fringe elements, exuberant comments, do not represent our ideology, nor it has our sanction. As far as other things are concerned, you know, many elements are not happy with the BJP coming to power. There have been people writing articles against Narendra Modi for the last so many years. They have never been happy with the election of him as the Prime Minister. And they are also undertaking a lot of motivated campaigns. But I want to assure the country today that as far as our approach is concerned, when we say Sabka Saath, Sabka Vishwas, it is Sabka Saath, Sabka Vishwas.
Mr. Prasad, let's now come to the next question, which dealt with the popularity of various top national netas. Now, while Prime Minister Modi, sir, is at 36%, heads and shoulders above all the others, right next to Prime Minister Modi is Arvind Kejriwal, who comes in at 15%. And interestingly, Arvind Kejriwal's popularity at this time is more than the combined popularity of Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi taken together. What do you make of the fact that Kejriwal across the country seems to be emerging as the biggest threat to Prime Minister Modi?
Well, as far as Mr. Kejriwal is concerned, I have nothing to say. As of now, Mr. Kejriwal has to more set his own house in order. A new political experiment in the country certainly is finding its own laboratory under fire, as someone rightly commented. But as far as the despicable condition of Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi is concerned, Rahul, this question should be directed to them, not to me. Except to remind you, Mr. Kejriwal has won on a massive mandate, and I have publicly complimented when I came on your channel. He has to work in Delhi. But if I can reverse the reel a little earlier, even before the 2014 elections, Kejriwal has been put up as a PM candidate by all of you. You are finding also. What happened, you all know. But the country is entitled to pick up anyone. But yes, if Mr. Kejriwal today is number 2, and the oldest party of India's leader and the son are not able to meet his popularity, that is a sorry state of affairs for which the Congress need to introspect.
It indeed is very disconcerting from the Congress's perspective, and in a moment from now, I'll go across to Ajay Markan too to get his sense on these numbers. The Mood of the Nation poll, sir, says that the BJP, if elections were to be held today, would not be able to get a majority by itself. In the Lok Sabha elections, Mr. Prasad, you got 282 seats. That figure could come down to about 255, which essentially means you're very far away now from that psychological mark of 272, which you need to be able to form a BJP government, sir.
Well, certainly you can always go for all these kind of surveys. That is your right, and I respect Rahul. Election will be held in 2019. The people of the country have voted us and will perform. We are performing. Except Delhi, we have won all the elections, including we have swept the local body elections in Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh. You know it. Opposition could not even open their account in Madhya Pradesh. So we know our strength. Yes, I take this survey is only a kind of a guidance to us to work more. And we wish to assure the people of India that we'll continue to work more and more.
One final question to you, Mr. Prasad, before I let you go. It's been a long day for you. I know that the India Today magazine headline this week says, "Wake up call for Modi." And 54% of the respondents say that Delhi debacle especially is a wake-up call for the government. Is that how the government sees it as well? The fact that you were trounced as badly as you were by Kejriwal's merry men, is that something which comes as a wake-up call for this Modi Sarkar?
No, I will not say that. Rahul, don't forget one thing. We lost power in Delhi in 1998, and we are losing thereafter. Even in Vajpayee government, we were winning 5-6 Lok Sabha seats. In Narendra Modi ji, we have been winning all the 7. So maybe Delhi issue requires a deeper analysis, deeper introspection, also for us to improve our things. But Delhi elections, thereafter so many elections have taken place. In Assam, we won all the local bodies there, including by-elections, though we are conventionally not that strong there. We swept Madhya Pradesh. We super swept Rajasthan. We did well in Chhattisgarh. So you see, and I'm told your survey shows if elections in Bihar are held, the BJP seat and vote percentage both are likely to rise. So these are also indications.
Okay, those of course are Lok Sabha numbers. Things could be different in an assembly election. That poll will need to be fought locally. But Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, I'm told you're under the weather. despite being slightly unwell, for making the effort to join us tonight from Bengaluru. Thank you very much. Really appreciate this. Senior BJP leader Ravi Shankar Prasad joining us on the newsroom.